This racist cop thought he could mock a grieving widow at the police station, but what she pulled out of her purse brought down the entire department and landed him in federal prison. Hit that follow button because this revenge story will leave you speechless. Grace Adebayo walked into Detroit's 12th precinct wearing her late husband Samuel's favorite black dress, carrying his death certificate to collect his belongings. But Sergeant Rick Morrison took one look at this dignified black woman and decided to be a racist bully, sneering, "This ain't the welfare office, lady. Prove you're actually married to Detective Adebayo because there's no way a real cop would marry someone like you." Grace stayed calm, pulled out her marriage certificate, but Morrison laughed and threatened to arrest her for fraud, completely unaware that he was about to destroy his own life because Grace had been recording everything on her phone. That's when Officer Martinez walked up, gasped, "Mrs. Adebayo." Detective Sam was the finest officer we had, and Morrison's face went white as he realized he'd just publicly humiliated the widow of one of the department's most respected officers. But here's where it gets incredible. Grace smiled and pulled out a flash drive, announcing loudly enough for everyone to hear, "My husband spent 30 years documenting racist behavior and corruption in this department, and this drive contains enough evidence to send dozens of officers to prison, starting with you, Morrison." Captain Wilson heard the commotion, saw what was happening, and exploded at Morrison while Grace handed over the flash drive that contained detailed records of evidence tampering, civil rights violations, and a corruption network that reached all the way to judges and prosecutors. Morrison tried to backtrack and apologize, but Grace cut him off with teacher-level authority. "My husband always said a person's true character is revealed by how they treat people who can't fight back, and today you showed everyone exactly who you are." Within 24 hours, Morrison was suspended. The FBI had locked down the precinct, and federal investigators were examining Samuel's documentation with Christmas morning enthusiasm because it provided a complete roadmap to decades of systematic corruption. The beautiful irony was that Morrison's moment of racist cruelty became the catalyst for the largest police corruption investigation in Detroit history, leading to 43 officers being fired or prosecuted, federal oversight of the entire department, and Morrison himself getting 8 years in federal prison. Grace transformed her grief into the Samuel Adebayo Foundation for Police Accountability, testified before Congress about police reform, and became a national advocate for justice, proving that sometimes the most powerful response to hatred is simply refusing to be diminished by it. 18 months later, Morrison was telling fellow inmates that his biggest regret wasn't his crimes, but the moment he decided to mock a woman whose quiet strength was more powerful than any weapon he'd ever carried, because that decision cost him everything while elevating her to a platform where she could create lasting change for thousands of families just like hers.